I can't imagine why. So
Okay.
does every module has a header and footer, and that's kind of
Yeah.
like a bookmark
Yeah.
of like
So
you've
what I
reached the
did
end?
was,
I love
are you
that.
recording now,
I
Tom?
am. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me just walk you through what I do because I noticed that. So I noticed in this course from Rhonda Perna that she really didn't use Pages. Like I use Pages so much to kind of organize things for myself. So what I did was I built this main page template, like just super simple. And I did create the header and the footer in Canva, not Canvas. And I brought those in so they're pictures, right? So if you like look at it from the editing perspective, like this is a picture, obviously that's text, that's a picture. So
Jamie, can you make this bigger by any chance? Can you like drag your screen
yes.
okay, like stretch out the side?
Yeah, let me see if I can figure that out. Is
There
that
you go.
better?
A little bit, yeah, just a little bit bigger and then perfect.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try this is so bad. I have I'm using a Mac, but I am not using a Mac keyboard and I cannot figure out how to make my view bigger on this. Like I can do it on all my other devices, but not on this one. And my boys were kind of harassing me for this because I know there's a way.
Can you try a Control Plus? Does that work?
Say that again?
Control Plus. I think it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't. My keyboard doesn't do anything fancy because it's not supposed to talk to this computer, and so it only types. So I don't know if there's a way, like, let me see with view. Okay, here we go. No, not zoom out, zoom in. All right, that's better. Is this better? Are you guys seeing that bigger?
Yes.
Okay. Is that too big or is that okay?
I think that's good for me. Anybody else?
Okay.
It looks great.
Okay, great. So anyway, I just started with that. So that's where I started. And then, so for module 1, what I did was I just started with that blank one. And then I started building. So I want like every module, because it's children's literature and I just love it. So I'm like, okay, I start out with, I'm going to have a spotlight book, but then, I couldn't settle on just one especially with only 6 modules. So I did 3. I compromised. So anyway, I have my course competencies, my course level objectives, and then the readings that the students are going to do and their assignments. And that's like in order how they'll work through the module. And then I always like to end with like a little quote or a cartoon. For these, I found this artist. Her name is Simone Blocker, and she does these beautiful illustrated like quotes from books and from authors. So I was like, okay, I like this for children's literature. But what I like about this start page, and what I do on Pages is that as we're running through the course, I make this my start page so that when students log into the course, so let me just go to student view. When students log into the course and it's module 1, this is what they see as their front page. And then they can always navigate here on the left, to go to other things. They can go to the modules and go to other things. But this is where they start. And so then when they click on anything here, it's taking them to that resource in the course because it's live. It's built that way. Have any of you ever done that, or is this?
No, this is great. So question, it always starts in module 1 regardless of what module you're in?
No. So then when we're on module 2, I make my start page a page just like this, but for module 2.
So that takes some focus on you as an instructor, right? That you are making sure every time you change a module that you go in and change your Canvas. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you go to pages, you just go to pages and you say, oops, I'm in student view. Let me leave student view. So when you go into pages, and you say view all pages, you can just easily select like that what you want the front page to be. So like this is the front page for the getting started module. So if I click on that and I right click over here, is this where I want to do it? No, now, oh, because this is the front page right now. So if like I say I want to change it, now I'm in module 2, I can just go here and say use this front page. And now that's what when I go to my course, that's the first page that you see.
Now, does this still allow them to reference back?
Yep. Because they can always, again, like if I'm in student view, they can always go back to modules. And like once I have the course, because since I'm just rearranging it this way, I don't have that. Okay, so I do have that page here. So I'll have everything will be in order that way. So the back button will still work for them, or they can go to modules and say, oh, I want to go back to module 1 and look at this. They can do that just like this.
Now, theoretically, we could just, because our page looks like what you're on now. And so theoretically, we could create those pages within the setup that we have now. It would just be one, like they would just click on the
Yeah,
first
you're
thing.
just adding one extra page. So like here, I don't think I did module 2 yet. Okay. So let's say I want to do that here. I go here and I just add a page. And I'm just going to add here a main page template. And I'll move that up. Where did it wind up? Okay, move it to the top.
Ton, I'm wondering if on our course, when we have those course objectives at the top, if we could just create something that like maybe looks like hers, that just is like maybe a bit of an overview of our module, and then continue on with how we have ours, just like this.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. So it's like we're kind of, we've got the concept of moving toward, and I do like how you're doing this, Jamie. So it's like, okay, now it's like moving to the next evolution. Is that what you're thinking, Erin? The next step. So it's like we kind of have the thought there, but now we see how we can take it further. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Exactly. Just sort of maybe, making it a little more inviting. It looks nicer and
I'll just share with you, like, if you don't mind, I'll share with you, like, this is my favorite course I designed, like, the most recent. So if I go, this is classroom management. So here, like, if I'm starting with module 1, that's the first page. And it has, what I love is that it just has everything there for them, and they just have to click on it, to access it. And like I say, my students have really, they love it. Like they'll say like, why don't other people do this? Because it just has them go to one place. Obviously they still have like the right hand thing, where they can, you can right scroll, but like if you see, then it still is going like in order of what the assignments or things are. Does that make sense?
Oh, it's totally excellent. I mean, it's really, really good, and it doesn't change anything in the modules and the way that's set up. But like you said, it goes to one page, and it might even invite better understand. That's not what I want to say. To me, it invites a more comprehensive overview. You've got some, visual appealing, aspects to it. You've got it. So again, it's really linear for me in that respect.
Yeah.
That it's got readings, videos, podcasts, all of those things that students are able to see. So no, I like it. My only thought when I was asking about it, because I'm so abstract random, that's why I was like, well, you do that every week, don't you? I'm like, I could just see myself getting so scatterbrained that I'm like, shoot, I forgot to change
Right.
the
You
front
know what?
page.
Yeah, it just actually just became like part of my thing. Like since the modules went in on Sunday nights, like that was the first thing I would do. Okay. So, going to go to my course, and this is my start page for module 1.
Oh no, the
So
other
this,
one, the course map, the one that you
oh,
color coded.
the course map. Sorry. Okay. Let me open this. Da, da, da. All right. Close that, make this bigger. All right. So this is my course map for children's literature.
And then can you do the zoom in
Bigger.
the
Yeah.
100% over there on the left? Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Good.
Awesome. Okay. So I will skip past the getting started module so we can get into module 1, which has course competencies. Module 1 is hitting on 3 course competencies, number 1, 3, and 8. And you can see these in the lighter blue. And then my course level objectives I have for corresponding with competency number 1, that students will begin to build a global view of children's literature, how it's categorized and evaluated, including the consideration of children's needs and physiological development. And they will be doing a reading. It's an open educational resource just introducing children's literature. There is a website they will explore that defines children's literature and has different genres within that. They will complete a reading organizer based on that reading of the introduction. The next course competency is competency number 3, choosing appropriate books for children at beginning, intermediate, and advanced levels, which reflect the diversity of our world. And I have 2 course level objectives for that. The first one is selecting appropriate books for a variety of settings and purposes, and that include for very young, including alphabet books, concept books, modern fantasy, fiction, modern and historical fiction, biography, and informational books. So they'll be doing a reading about selecting books. They'll be looking at a website that highlights choosing good books for early childhood and elementary. They'll be completing a reading organizer, as they do with all their readings, for that. And then the next course level objective is that they will select favorite books and justify their selection using appropriate terminology. So they're going to be reviewing 2 of their favorite children's books, and so they'll start to use that terminology from the course and articulating their thoughts on that, and they'll be responding to peers. So I know I went quickly through this. This structure follows the orangish color of this is what you'll learn how to do. Those are all the course competencies and course level objectives. The yellow is the content of the course, and then the green is what students are doing, their assignments and any assessments. I really kept this course. There's just a few kind of major assessments, and everything else is considered an assignment or an activity. Obviously, the learning is getting assessed through those as well. And the other thing that I like about this organizer is that you can really see as we go through this whole course that I have things in columns for readings and for websites and resources. And I'm pretty certain that I don't have any videos or podcasts in this course at this time, and very few websites. So that really shows that those are areas for me to add content that is relevant for the students and for the course.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the podcast that I had popped in, and Kenneth not the podcast, but the video of Trevor McKenzie, and he was doing a fireside chat with two other gals, one from Seattle and one from Australia, and he's Canadian. That talking about the inquiry model, talking about you know the pandemic and working with parents. I mean, it's just a very insightful conversation. But then the concept of assessment, and how, that's always something that just makes people so crazy. So it's kind of interesting. And I think it correlated with the idea that you can really assess their assignments and activities. But this idea of assessment, I think, has been hijacked by, people who make money to make it this real high stakes and anxiety producing experience, and so as I'm listening to it, I'm really, they're just starting to dive into that before I had to start my day with, meetings and working with you guys. But I'm very, interested in really breaking into him and breaking into more of their ideas, because this is what both Mesa Public Schools and ASU, they're really diving into his work. And as,
Well,
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, just last point is yesterday I met with Renee Manning, and she and I are co-chairing the Future Educators Conference. And as we are looking at, the structure and resources and funding, potential keynotes, I'm thinking, boy, bringing in someone like him to keynote this virtual conference that we're planning for the fall would be really, really powerful. Or seeing if when Mesa Public Schools is bringing in these guys, that they're adding us as education faculty into their meetings and their discussions, kind of like what Chris Gilmore spoke to us about, Aaron. That yes, let's have you join our planning meetings. So go ahead, Jamie. My brain is going and firing on so many levels.
No, I just think that it's so important to articulate that with students, and that's something like I don't find that